Hello everyone, hello to everyone that's watching. I hope that at least some of you missed my content and some of you enjoy these battle reports and come to see my tactical genius or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I know I'm a humble guy, but all in all, sorry for the lack of content. I've been really down on Infinity lately. Over the half year, I've played like one farewell tournament for 2 and 4. I played an IGL in N5. I didn't really want to play, but I figured that I'd rather play something before signing off and quitting Infinity altogether. I've been enjoying other war games, Middle Earth in particular, lately. But yeah, I signed up to ITC over a year ago, and me and my friends we already booked the hotel. We booked the event itself. We planned the car ride, so I kind of felt obligated to go. And all in all, I have to tell you that it was really a good decision, and I do not regret it in the slightest. It was just a blast meeting all the people that I know from the Discord and to complain about GML and in real life and talk to the people that I know from Infinity, from TTS, and finally get a face to the name, right? For those that don't know what it is, ITC stands for Infinity Team Championship, and it happened this weekend in Gottingen. And it were 27 teams, with one team from the United States, some teams from France, from Germany, Austria, Sweden, Poland, and UK, obviously. So definitely wide spectrum of the metas, wide spectrum of the players. So yeah, the format was basically 3 players, each plays their individual game, and you just pair people against each other. It's kind of like a mini game before the actual round starts. So without this, we took Kestrel, piloted by me. We took Combined Army, Vanilla, piloted by Sharonkar, and Svalheim Winterfoss, piloted by Moihau. And a little bit of spoiler, the biggest struggler of the entire tournament turned out to be Vanilla Combined Army, even though we did everything in our power to get the Vanilla Combined Army good pairings. It's just stuff was going wild, right? And yeah, so the first round I've been playing, will be playing against White Banner with my Kestrel. So without the further ado, let's just get straight into the battle report and just talk to the game, right? So as usual, let's just first start with one of my 2 lists. This is a list I will be playing for round 1, 2, and 3. So if anyone's interested in the later games, I will be rather more welcome if you just go back to this to not explain myself over and over and over again. The second list will be at game 4 and 5, so stay tuned if you want to see what I cooked up for Kestrel in the other list. So we first start with the obvious, like Black Air, FTO, multi-sniper rifle. Like, I play Kestrel just for this guy. I played Kamau snipers over and over, and yeah, this guy's Black Air is just Kamau, but better. Luckily for the meta, it's entirely new landscape, and albedo or white noise really screws over this guy. So he's not as invincible as the good old Kamau, as not as reliable. But in the pairings where the opponent does not have a gear check, he really keeps the board in check, right? So I absolutely adore this profile. So to fill out the fire team, we're going for the Fennecs, and we're taking Fennec Lieutenant, Fennec Decoy, and finally taking Fennec Forward Observer. Fennec Forward Observer, I think, is a must-have, like a staple for Kestrel, simply because you don't want to be locked out of the game. Stuff happens, sometimes you just lose those face-to-face rolls, sometimes you cannot go over the Teucer, the Overdrawn. There are a lot of hard arrows that are not powerful as the Riot Gear previously, but still powerful enough that sometimes you don't want to take this gunfight. And just the Fennec Forward Observer opens up so many possibilities that I think you should always take him. So they form a fire team of 4. Important to note, you will not only get +1 SD, which is huge for the Black Air, but you also get +3 Discover, which comes clutch when you want to make some plays with the Black Air on the active turn. So while the Black Air on the active turn is rolling 2 dices, one special, one not special, the hitting power is not there, the reliability is not there because 2 dices is dicey. It's still a sniper rifle on a mimetic MIM-SV platform, and you can take a lot of gunfights, for example against Longias, Hunduns, and stuff that wants to take those long-range gunfights. You can take the fight to them with the Black Air Sniper, right? So these guys form the fire team. Then we're running 2 more fire teams. The first one is the Griffin, Feuerbach combined with a Firefly Engineer, and they form a duo. I absolutely enjoy those guys, and I think that they are one of my favorite things about the Kestrel, because you get a specialist in terms of Firefly. He has a deactivator, which is the main reason why I'm taking the Griffin, the Firefly engineer, sorry, because the deactivator just removes the pictures and allows you to progress further with the game state. But also the Griffin with a Firebug open up possibilities to kill stuff that you cannot shoot with PS7 weapons. You can kill tags, you can shoot down planes, you can take on heavy infantry targets, and it's also additional reactive piece. It supplements the blacker really nice. You have one arrow piece in the form of blacker, another in the form of Griffin, and those two pieces, they have in common that they are vulnerable to both albedo and the white noise. And whenever there's like a white noise and your opponent feels really, safe about having the white noise in, the blink is there to capitalize on that, right? If they go through the white noise, you can still shoot with a blink. Pieces that want to take on the Griffin or the black hair don't really want to fight against mimetism. For example, the plasma sniper overdrone, if you can, catch them with the bluff black hair and the blink, it gives you some opportunity to survive. And all in all, the blink is a really good, reliable arrow piece that you can use when you need it. And also importantly, it's to some extent shuts down the pitcher play, because you can just snipe the pitcher on a fair-in. For the pitcher snipe, I would rather have a multi-sniper, and I think generally I'd even prefer the multi-sniper rifle to the heavy rocket launcher because of the ranges and ability to kill single targets reliably. That template is just much cheaper, and it importantly also brings a wild parrot, which can be useful. It didn't really come up in the tournament, but nice to have, right? So those are our pieces that we will be using as reactive pieces, but can also be active pieces in a clutch. Then we need some, gunfighter, right? And then we bring the head carry. Head carry, while also struggling against albedo and the white noise, he has some chances, because at worst he's looking like 11s versus 10 on an overdrawn. It's not a good face-to-face role to have, but it's not terrible either. And it just brings, the head carry is such a power piece that is just crazy. Like it wins so many gunfights, just the mods, the hitting power, the reliability of it. If you unsure who's going to win, always bet on head carry, right? And we do it with the Pathfinder remote. We're doing it with Pathfinder, not Bipandra, simply because we don't have points. The difference between Pathfinder and the Bipandra is 8 points, and I just couldn't have it, right? And it still brings a specialist that's fast, and it brings tactical awareness for one more order for the head carry. Then we're bringing the Banshee, Killer Hacker, because in these missions, in Unmasking, it's cool because it gets to the consoles quickly. In the firefight, it can jump onto the table from the enemy's board edge. And in the third mission, which was the Frostbite, it brings, importantly, decharges, so it can blow up the enemy heater if needed. And it's a hacker that can kill the enemy hackers, and it cannot be killed until you bring it in. And it has templates. It's basically all around solid profile for like yellow suicide plates. It just allows you to punish null deploys to some extent, right? And then we bring in Yamabushi. Yamabushi is key to this list because you don't want to have any of your pieces stuck in close combat, or you don't want to dig out some heavy infantry that's close to you, you can hard rotate or something that you cannot really kill because it's too close to you. The Yamabushi solves that because it can get in close and just combat it. I used to play with the Beast Hunter, but I actually think the Yamabushi is much better just because it does have martial arts level 3 and it can win those face-to-face throws in combat reliably, and the fork is not that important. You take it for the close combat, for the martial arts. That's it. Then to round up the list, we have the usual good old reliable Fugazi, we have the baggage bot, and baggage bot is primarily there to support either the Firefly engineer, the Panzerfaust, or to reload the disco balls. There can be a situation where you shoot all of your disco balls turn 1 and you need them in like 10-3. It's better to have a baggage bot than not have it and be locked out of the game. Same with the Firefly. Albedo -6, 2 Panzerfaust, you can find some situations where you want to shoot those Panzerfausts and then you can reload them. Finally, the Fugazi is self-explanatory, but the Tech B might be, well, interesting. I don't know. It's a specialist, okay? It's a specialist, and it rocks a deactivator. It has a deactivator, but I don't know why it's not in the profile. I'm maybe confusing something. Yeah, I actually had to go double check, but yes, that AB has the activator. I kind of double guessed myself, but yeah, Tabby has a deactivator, so she can deactivate repeaters for very low cost. Even she gets spotlighted and then blown up by a guy that, I mean, she's 9 points, what do you care? But it opens up spot situations for the head carry. And she has a adhesive launcher rifle, which can be important. You never know. You never know when you may need it. And this basically clocks into 15 orders. And right, finally, the trauma dog. The good old staple, the Masmo special. I just never leave home without a trauma dog. And it comes in clutch in at least one game, I can tell you that. So, yeah, better to have the trauma dog for 5 games and not use it than, not have it in the most dire situation. Even though the speedball exists, but the speedball is primarily for the switch on, for the head carry, or maybe the Griffin, but it's primarily for the switch on, not the Vita Pack. The trauma deck is to Vita Pack. So this is really long explanation of my list, but I hope to do it just one time and not in every single episode. Now let's just go to my opponent's list and to the game itself. So my opponent's list. This is a white banner. The groups might be different. I redo this list from my memory, but yeah, the core is there. So the core, what I'm speaking about is the Hetai, Hwarang, Sulyong, and Jujak. And those are the guys. Jujak Lieutenant, because there is no other. The only other lieutenant could be the Alfei. The Hetai with the AP HMG gun instead of heavy rocket launcher. I presume this is because there is no hacker to launch with the guided, so the HMG is better at winning the face-to-face rolls. So I can see that. Sulyong Paramedic because NCO is good. The Hwarang because it brings the disco boiler very importantly, so allows you to not get locked out by a black air sniper. It also rocks up Panzerfaust if you want to coordinate of it. The Hundun probably was in group 2, not super sure on that, but it's another reactive piece. And then there's like Gudan, and the Beast Hunter. Those guys form the midfield, 3 camo markers in the midfield, and they will be very important for the game itself because they will suicide themselves into the HVTs. Then there's Target Soldier, good old reliable, good gunfighter, now even lower than 30 points, so I think he's a steal at 29. It's BS-13 mimetic gun whenever you need it. What is actually interesting is both the lack of long gas, like 0 long gas, which are a staple of White Banner, but if you see at the SWC there's like no room for them. I personally would always take long gas in the White Banner, but my opponent decided not to. And the Dalfai actually got a really good glow up. He has an AP Spitfire, he's also a specialist at the same time. But at 52 points, I'm like probably still no for the Dalfai. He's a choice, but not a choice I would make, honestly speaking. And the list is filled out with Pangolin for the same reasons as I did. Half my baggage bot, 1 flash bot to fill out the points, and Liankai plus 2 Shaolins. It's still a powerhouse of battery orders, good CC, smoke grenades. Yeah, I think it's a white banner list, most like a camo spam list, which is something I personally would not like playing against, because the Kestrel, well, the Kestrel is good against the camo spam, but against camo spam in Unmasking, it's really difficult to stop your opponent from gaining the momentum, gaining the points, which you will see in a moment. So, I win the Lieutenant role, I choose the deployment side, that's better, and I make my opponent deploy themselves on the side of the worst side, and they deploy first, and they take the first turn. So here's the baggage bot really quickly, the flash bot, set up Puraro, there's the Haetae, Sulyong, Jujak, wait, sorry, this was the Hwarang, there's the Sulyong, so this is the Firerim, straight in the middle. There's camo marker number 1, I think it was a Gudan, then it's a Gudan, a Beast Hunter, another Gudan, and there is the Freeman Firerim. So, my opponent's game plan, because this table is really shitty for unmasking. There is the HVT number 1, the HVT number 2 is right here, and the HVT number 3 is here. This will set up the tone for the game. This is the middle of the table, and both of us had to deploy HVTs straight in the middle, pretty much next to the consoles. So you push the button, you move once, you get to shoot the HVT. this is terrible for unmasking because, as you will see, with the camo spam, even though I control the board, there is nothing I can do to prevent my opponent from killing the HVTs except roll a good dodge. But it just doesn't happen. So I counter deploy it, obviously, and my opponent's reserve is the Alpha, which I'm not aware at this point in time. And here's my counter deployment. The black air lands here in the middle. It gets a really good line of fire in sort of this area. It gets a good line of fire in this side of the table, and like protects me this area, and as well this area. So this is a really dominating spot, and the black air can dominate the entire table from this spot. However, what it cannot do is prevent my HVTs from just getting clapped, because this HVT is now here, the other is here, there is the other one. So this is the only HVT I can actually protect, because every single other one is, you know, one order from death. The Yamabushi lands in the middle, ready to go and engage my opponent's stuff up close. Head carry lands on this side. The idea is, because the fire team is here, the head carry wants to punish the fire team, basically. Those are the guys that head carry wants to fight against, and yeah, there's no point in shooting monks. Like, the monks are not going anywhere as long as the black air dominates this side of the table. The monks are not going to contribute to the game whatsoever, so I can just absolutely ignore them and focus entire efforts on the left side of the table, right? So I can just, you know, play this side only, because the other side is protected by the black air. So then the Griffin is deployed in such a way that he sees into the console, like this way. And if the Hayatai wants to take this fight, he needs to take the fight out of cover. And this is a risky fight. I will be 2 17s versus 5 14s. But because Hayatai will have no cover, I can just one-shot him. And Griffin, I hope he will survive. But this is the idea. I want my opponent to engage into me. I leave this spot purposely hidden, so I allow my opponent to move safely to the console, just because I deploy a blink that's ready to snipe the fire team. So my idea is that my opponent does not want to take this fight from this angle against the black air, because this is outside of 32. So I want my opponent to take this fight from this spot. This is a tempting spot for him. This will be inside of 32, but to get there, he has to carefully maneuver around while not being seen by the Griffin. So he has to stack in a line behind the console, and then kablam, the blink splashes him and I'm home. So this is the idea, but it just never happens because my opponent does not want to engage in any face-to-face rolls whatsoever with me over the course of the game. So as I said, the opponent deploys Dalfei around, somewhere there. Anyways, the Dalfei starts the turn by maneuvering this way. I delay with my black air because it cannot be a gulag, there would be no sense. He pushes this button and maneuvers the Dalfei all the way here, pushes this button and hides behind the crystal. And that's pretty much it, because the link reshuffles, splits up, so it's not getting splashed. Then the Liankai team starts maneuvering around here. They need quite a few cautious moves to avoid the black air line of fire, and they finish up chilling out in this building. There is nothing else going on this turn, and particularly because the Alpha failed like 2 button presses, and it didn't have enough orders to progress the board further, and did not want to take the fight against my black air. So the completely uneventful turn of just pushing 2 buttons. That's it. So, like I said, the Alpha just moves this way into this position and just goes prone here. And the monks are relatively spread out in the room. So we go really quickly to my turn. And I know there's a Hundun somewhere, and I need to bait it out. The simplest way to do that is to give an opponent a tempting shot that they cannot refuse. So the head carry starts running, this way. The Pathfinder starts running this way because I don't want to give a super easy shot and splash both. My opponent takes the bait, the Hundun is revealed here, takes the fight against the head carry. Head carry tries to dodge, fails, but survives the template, gets us to this position. This allows my Griffin to progress this way, take the fight against the Hundun. It takes 2 or 3 orders, and I delete the Hundun. And this opens up the way for the head carry. Head carry starts running this way with a sensor bot. I go to go to this position and take the fight against the Alpha. And over like 2, maybe 3 orders. I only get a 1 wound to the Daofei because PS7 absolutely sucks ass. But this opens up the space for the Pathfinder to go up here, click their button, and retreat to this position. This is not the best of my turns, but also not the worst. I finish up by moving head carry to a better position and putting him on suppressive. So if Daofei wants to engage the head carry, it's pretty much stuck. If Daofei wants to go this way, it's welcome to, but there is a trap in the blink. So I kind of want to funnel him again. I want to funnel my opponent into going to this quadrant, go into the blink, and then, you know, double tap him from 2 sides and finish him off. That's why the head carry is here to look at it. But my opponent has different ways of playing, and I think it's a much better idea and just again does not fall for my trap. So, like I said, I cannot protect the HVT. So here is what happens. Monk comes up here, dodges, moves, head carry suppresses, absolutely shreds the Monk, but the Monk gets 2 pistol shots into my HVT off and it kills it. The HVT number 1 is dead. Daofei, still stuck in the middle, does not want to go anywhere. So, the button is still nevertheless pressed. Sulyong, it's up to him. I think, okay, here is my best shot of the game. Here it comes. Sulyong just moves out. There's the Monk. Sulyong moves up. I take the shot finally with the blink. Hit the Sulyong, hit the Jujak. The Jujak burns off the table, Sulyong survives. Still stuck. Next order. He dodges away, pushes the button. And I'm like, okay. Sure. I cannot stop this. Then there's the Gundam, moves out here. Shoots 2 shotgun shells into my HVT, kills it, dies to a black air. Tiger Soldier drops off next to the Blink. Blink fails to dodge. Tiger Soldier spends exactly 1 order, shoots the HVT in the back, deletes it. All 3 HVTs gone, all 3 consoles pushed. Yeah, there's nothing I can do because I cannot revive the HVTs. All I can do is unclick the buttons and take the fight to my opponent, which I have 2 turns for. So, I start by, you know, just going at it. Blink moves, well, I think it's, yeah, kind of outdated photo, but Blink just goes out, deletes the Tiger Soldier, the head carry starts running here, then moves around this position, finally deletes the Daofei, this Pathfinder remote, pushes this button, head carry goes down, along the way kills the Beast Hunter, kills the Gundam. I kill the HVT, number 1. I then kill the HVT number 2, here. Oh, the HVT was shot somewhere in the first turn, I don't remember, but the HVTs are dead, pretty much. Then I drop in a Banshee from this side, because there is an exclusion zone, the border skirmish. I jump in, I delete the HVT. And this is bottom of turn 2. And we can just safely call it, because there is no points I can score and there are no points my opponent can score. He cannot push the buttons again because we both pushed them. I cannot kill anything else on the table. I have the console and we just call it. Over the entirety of the game, there was not a single face-to-face rolls against my models. All of them are just suiciding into HVTs, and that's it. I finish up the score with like 7-5-ish, something. I don't remember, but 300 AVPs. Not a single face-to-face roll aimed at me. Well, sorry, I'm bad. Houndun shot at me a better safe, so there was 1 face-to-face roll. So yeah, a very pleasurable experience. I really enjoyed the game with my opponent. It was really a fun guy to play with. But Unmasking combined with the dead zone of all the GVTs in the middle just does not make for a good experience, I feel. Without mines, there's nothing I can do. Well, the Sulyong surviving, but there's almost nothing I can do to prevent my opponent just camo walking up and suiciding into my HVTs because they are located in the middle. And at the same time, there was nothing my opponent could have done to prevent me from killing the HVTs, although I killed some stuff on the way, but I would have done this without killing any of his models, I think. So yeah, we start off really strong with a first win for the Kestrel, and yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I promise the next episode will be shorter without the long explanation of the list. Thanks and have a good day. Bye.